Hello and welcome to the opening event of Gühring TECHLIGHT 2020. I'd like to welcome you all to the live stream. My name is Anja Lange and I will accompany you through this live event as your host. I'm delighted to introduce CEO Oliver Gühring, who will be opening the digital trade fair.
Thank you, Ms. Lang. Dear customers, dear viewers, I would also like to welcome you to our own very first digital trade fair at TECHLIGHT 2020. The AMB should have taken place this September. We have been showcasing our company at the AMB ever since its inception. That was almost 40 years ago, and it is now our most successful and well-attended trade fair in the world. You could say that it's our in-house trade fair. We were very much looking forward to the AMB, and we truly regret that we were not able to personally welcome you to Stuttgart this year. We traditionally appear at a great many trade fairs, simply because personal contact and the chance to speak to you is important to us. I can assure you, as soon as it is safely possible to attend trade fairs again, we will be back attending, as trade fairs are a pleasure, not a hassle. I hope you'll come along and I look forward to seeing you there. Until then, we will be making the best of the situation. And with TECHLIGHT, we'll offer you the opportunity to find out about our news at any time throughout the year. With TECHLIGHT, we have tried to get as close as possible to a real trade fair experience, which is why we are giving you the chance to interact. If you have any questions or requests, please contact us in writing, chat with our experts, or simply give us a call. I promise that you won't end up on hold for ages and you won't be talking to chatbots, but to one of our skilled members of staff who will be delighted to help you. That's it from me. I would like to say a big thank you for attending TECHLIGHT. I hope for both of our sakes that one or two of our innovations pique your interest and they help you to save costs and work more productively. Of course, I also hope you stay healthy and above all, make it through these difficult times. Thank you very much and enjoy TECHLIGHT.
Thank you, Mr. Gühring, for your opening address. As we've just heard, today we will be looking at innovations from the machining industry, and you will learn how to digitalize your production. Specifically, this means 3 topics and 6 speakers. This means that we will be looking at the digitalization of production, the topic of solid carbide drilling in the high-performance sector, and there'll also be an exclusive product presentation for you, a world premiere, so to speak. We're going to start with this now. It's time for you to meet our star, the first topic of the day. Rolf Ehrler and Christian Zieker will be giving the introduction. They are product managers for milling tools and micro-precision tools at Gühring.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a product manager for milling tools at Gühring, I was closely involved in the development and success of the RF100 Diver milling cutter. I am delighted to welcome you here today, so that you can join me as we immerse ourselves in the world of the RF100 Diver. I am sure you're familiar with the problem: slotting, pockets, cavities. This usually means lengthy plunging for a relatively short machining time, run-in paths that take longer than the machining itself, and a generally sluggish and tiring milling process. The Diver milling cutter solves this problem by allowing you to first drill axially, followed by helical plunging, and finally ramping with extremely high parameters. As a result, you can complete your machining tasks much faster. Remember, there was a time when the Diver didn't exist. Back then, you had to ramp and plunge at an angle of less than 10 degrees. It was arduous and time-consuming. But then we launched the Diver, and it changed everything. With the Diver, you could suddenly plunge at angles of 45 degrees. A feature often copied by our competitors but never matched. We have managed to reach angles as high as 60 degrees. This aggressive plunging angle drastically reduces your machining times. So the RF100 Diver continues to set the benchmark. Don't believe me? Ask our customers. There are over 18,000 of them around the world.
Diver end mill with coolant through has allowed us to triple our speeds and feeds, and our tool life has increased about 250%.
Diver, mantap bro!
Diver, la perfección en maquinado.
Diver, luar biasa!
Diver, 최고!
Diver is a universal tool. No more plunge drilling, just straight rough and finish, all one shot.
다이버의 노비는 사이코!
Sometimes a revolutionary product comes onto the market that changes everything. Here at Gühring, we did just that when we launched our diver. The diver can do both. It is universally applicable in drilling, slotting, ramping, roughing, finishing, and also universally applicable in all materials. This makes our RF100 diver the most multifaceted tool on the market.
As you can see, we all work hard, day in, day out, to achieve our goals of efficiency and optimization, and to follow our motto of higher, faster, further. But as we spend every day on a quest to mark the next big benchmark, we often forget one thing. The future of machining is small. The future lies in microtechnology. My name is Christian Seeker, and as Product Manager for Micro Precision Tools, I will now introduce you to the next evolution in the field of milling, extremely small and ultra-precise. This is what we aspire to achieve here at Gühring. The miniaturization of components requires applications that, for a long time, seemed unfeasible. The smaller the components, the higher the requirements for precision, repeatability, and cost-effectiveness in the process. High carbide quality, smaller manufacturing tolerances, and reliable cooling are essential for optimum micro-machining. As you can see, miniaturization and advances in technology present us with new, unprecedented challenges, particularly in industries such as medical and electrical engineering. The number of small precision components are increasing dramatically. This goes hand in hand with increasing demands on performance and consistency, and therefore on the manufacturing of these tools. With a state-of-the-art Centre of Excellence in Vogtland, Germany, we are taking these developments into account. Across more than 4,000 square meters, we bring together all the expertise needed to produce these micro-precision tools. This Centre of Excellence for Microtechnology maps out manufacturing for an entire industry, a feature that makes it the only centre of its kind. It brings together development and testing, design and production for the entire product sector. Carbide, geometry and coating are carefully honed to complement one another perfectly. The aim of this Centre of Excellence is to develop new innovations for micro-machining. I have brought an innovation along with me for you today, the RF100 Microdiver. This tool marks the start of a new generation of micro-precision tools, while also building on the success of the RF100 diver. The Microdiver sets new standards in micro-machining when it comes to performance and consistency. For the customer, this means a much higher material removal rate than is common today. At the same time, increases process reliability. This also goes for hard-to-machine materials. This benefits high-volume production and customers with high spindle speeds. The advantages of this tool also make a decisive difference in individual part machining and under standardized conditions. To be more specific, this means 1. Saving on tools because you can plunge and mill with just one tool. 2. Extremely high cutting values. And 3. Extremely high cutting depths that were previously unachievable for micro-precision tools. Altogether, this drastically reduces machining time and, all in all, reaches a whole new level of micro-machining.
thank you, Christian Zieker, for introducing the new RF100 Microdriver. It truly is a whole new level of machining. So we have already started with a big bang, and I can promise you the rest of the event is no less exciting. We will continue right away with a topic that is currently affecting all of us, digitalisation. Gühring, as a tool manufacturer, often offers its customers digital solutions. What they are and what they can offer, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look. Leading us through this will be Daniel Koenig, Head of Tool Management at Gühring, and Uwe Reich, Head of the Services and Software Sales Team.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you looking to digitize your production? I know. Industry 4.0 is becoming boring. You're also probably thinking Gühring makes tools, not software. That is where you're wrong. Where do we, Gühring, actually come from? Our customers originally needed simple software that opened the drawers in our tool cabinets. Perhaps a little inventory overview, and in the best case, some software to monitor the removal processes in the vending machines. As our users' requirements began to grow, so too did our services department. More than 15 years of experience in the development of interfaces and more than 3,000 software projects worldwide make us your reliable partner. So, where do we stand today? We offer software that digitizes and monitors all of your production-related processes, while also giving you the opportunity to improve them. My name is Daniel Koenig. I'm in charge of tool management at Gühring. And today I'm going to show you all of the incredible things that can become possible when you merge tools and software. Digitalisation is a very hot topic of conversation. However, the reality often looks a little different. When speaking to our clients, we often encounter structures that have grown over time. They have very diverse machinery pools. This has resulted in various standalone solutions for completing various tasks. It also means that nothing really fits together. Now you are faced with the challenge of digitizing all of these different processes in a standardized manner. To do this, you have to find solutions that can be integrated into the existing infrastructure. I have some good news for you. You are not alone. Gühring has already thought about this on your behalf. Let me now show you a number of approaches for introducing digitalization into your production processes and how this can benefit you. You are all familiar with these traffic lights. They allow you to directly identify the current status of a machine. So far, so good. As long as you're on a production line. If not, you're practically blind.
And this is precisely where our solution comes in. The software allows you to display the status of each individual machine in a production control station. As a result, you can keep an eye on the current condition of your entire production line, no matter where you are or what time it is. You can detect machine downtimes as they happen and intervene immediately. Informative analyses show you both the productivity of your plant as well as its losses. With this data, you can improve your capacity rate by up to 20%. Basically, this means you have up to 20% more production capacity with the same fleet of machines.
Let's look at another example. When do you change the tools on your machines? Either when a tool has been worn out or when you are refitting a machine ready for a new job. The problem is that you do not adjust the required tools until this point, the point when you need the machine most. Wouldn't it be great if you could prepare for this?
Well, you can. We monitor the tool magazine digitally. This includes downtimes, pre-warning limits, or the current configuration. This makes it possible to predict when a tool change is necessary and thus also prepare for it. This means that in future, you can use the machine's operating times to configure the required tools in advance. But that's not all. Of course, the software also provides you with evaluations of wear and tear data. This helps you to identify machining problems straight away and optimize machining strategies over the long term.
There are a few other interesting approaches to process optimization. Imagine a skilled employee is optimizing an NC program during their shift. You should have nothing to complain about. You hire only the best people. They think ahead and are even helping to improve production. It's just a pity that this doesn't make any difference to you at all. While you get a sudden improvement in quality or increase in productivity, nobody will understand this once the shift changes. Normally, this quick change to the programming is not documented, knowledge is lost, the potential is down the drain. Or a worse scenario, someone is tinkering with an NC program and it doesn't work as well. Nobody wants to admit that, but I am sure you are familiar with the issue. You are producing rejects and don't know why.
Thanks to parameter monitoring, changes in the program are automatically documented. You can keep track of changes at all times and thereby find out where things are going wrong. This makes it possible to analyze both optimizations and machining problems in record time. So, what we are seeing, and what you already know, is knowledge is power. All too often these things, this knowledge that is stored in employees' heads, falls by the wayside and is squandered.
So what do we do today if we want to analyze and optimize our machining processes? Those of you who are graduates of the old school put your hand on the machine and check the vibrations. We can also check the wear of the tools used and the quality of the components. Pretty easy to see. We call this flying blind, because the things that happen in the machine during machining cannot really be measured.
How can we do it better? By connecting and monitoring machines directly, we make important parameters visible, and this applies to all machines. For example, we can see the speeds and feed rates for all axes and spindles, and you can even monitor 8 different axes at the same time. On top of this, you can watch their power consumption and position data. We can see error messages from the NC program, the main and auxiliary times, as well as the corresponding program codes for visualization. We can measure the effective forces directly in the working area. With all of this data and over 120 years of experience in the field of machining, we enable you to monitor processes and performance live, analyze them, and then optimize them.
So as you can see, we always take a holistic approach to our digitalization projects. We start with the analysis, we identify potential improvements, and work closely with you. In many cases, what may seem like small gaps come to light, but these small issues can end up leading to significant problems. Here is a simple example. I set up my tool at the preset location and received the correction values in the form of a printout. I now have to type in the correction values again by hand on my machine's control unit. We call this media discontinuity, a mix-up of 2 digits, a short tap. Should worst come to worst, this can lead to damage on the machine, and that means production downtime.
We have created a way to eliminate this media discontinuity and automatically transfer the data to the machine. As very few machine pools are uniform, we did not focus on one type of control unit or manufacturer during development. We are compatible with almost all control units on the market, such as Siemens, Fanuc or Heidenhain. If not, we will find a solution tailored to you.
Interface development, implementation in the production environment, tool expertise. All of this makes us your strong partner. More importantly, it makes you more successful and helps to optimize your production.
Thank you, Uwe Reich. Daniel Koenig, thank you. Amazing what becomes possible when you employ digitalization in industry. Ladies and gentlemen, every year you visit trade fairs and see dozens of new tools. But let's be honest, the wheel is not being reinvented every year. Every now and then, sure. Today you have the honour of being present when our experts Florian Bayerl from Product Management and Dr. Nicholas Beer from Research and Development show you how Gühring has catapulted itself to the next level of drilling, despite all adversities.
When we create something with passion and precision, when we join the best of the best, Then, something new arises. Something extreme. Something powerful. The RT100XF. Exceptional metal removal rate. Powerful machining.
Machining has been evolving for a number of years. Microalloyed steels are being used more and more frequently. So-called superalloys make us think high-tech applications or prestige fields like aerospace, lightweight construction and motorsports. However, ladies and gentlemen, it has always been the case that these materials are often born in these areas, but because of their impressive properties, they gradually become part of conventional industry. This was the case with aluminium and CFRP in automotive construction, and this is also the case with Inconel and other superalloys. On top of that, there are ever more powerful machines on the market that make life difficult for tool manufacturers because they require ever more powerful tools. These tools are exposed to extreme wear and tear. Current tools on the market can often no longer meet these requirements in an economic manner. My name is Florian Birrell. I'm involved in the core competence of drilling here at Gühring. And together with my colleague Dr. Nicholas Beer, who manages the research projects, I will be taking you all on a journey today. On the journey that led to the creation of the RT100XF ratio drill.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you have already heard, we have already reached a total performance plateau on the market. Two approaches are usually discussed to further increase performance. Either A, increasing the cutting speed, or B, increasing the feed rate. Now, dear viewers, I do not have to tell you what effects increasing the cutting speed will have. The temperatures in the machining zone increase enormously. Edge zone changes increase, component quality suffers. Due to the issue of temperature, the cutting speed approach is currently largely exhausted. Current tools no longer provide any leverage. With the second approach, a higher feed rate, the temperatures remain at a lower level with higher power potential. But the mechanical load increases significantly. This must be taken into account when designing tools. In order to achieve the high feed rate, we have to completely rethink the tool design. Only then will we receive the extra feed. Let's start by looking at the foundations of the building, carbide. Due to the high mechanical loads, as with high feed rates, higher peak loads also occur locally. However, the resulting disruptions to the tool must be avoided at all costs. At the same time, there is a contradiction in the design of carbide that keeps engineers busy all around the world. Hardness and toughness. We want our cutting materials to be ultra-hard and therefore ultra-wear resistant. But ultra-hard also unfortunately means ultra-brittle, and ultra-brittle leads to something that every machining expert hates: tool breakage. These two variables need to be balanced out sensibly, because while the hard brittle tool breaks easily, a tough carbide might not be damaged or could survive with just a few minor consequences. But this then means that various materials, such as the superalloys mentioned at the beginning, could not cut anything at all due to the lack of hardness.
Process forces during machining are therefore the core parameter for the development of a drilling tool, and entails certain geometric requirements for the tool and its design. Macrogeometry is essential here, as it is crucial for safe chip breakage. The goal must always be to dissipate heat via the chip. This is because the cutting edge in particular is subject to thermal loads. The cutting speed is at its highest here. The cutting edge must be extremely stable, especially in the corner area, as it is primarily responsible for the whole quality. Pure performance without quality is not enough. We achieve a stable cutting edge with the so-called negative chamfer. The special positioning of the double margins is what makes the RT100XF so successful in terms of position and roundness. Extreme feed rates can be achieved thanks to the robust cut. The reduced intervention time reduces thermal stress. Productivity, in turn, increases many times over.
In addition to carbide and macrogeometry, we also pay particular attention to microgeometry, which affects the protection of the main and secondary cutting edges and therefore has to be carefully synced. Even the slightest changes significantly change the performance of the tool, as we are changing the chip formation directly at its origin. We operate on the open heart, so to speak. As we all know, nothing can go wrong or be left to chance. In the production of microgeometry, process reliability is therefore essential, even with tight tolerances and high repeatability. Here, we clearly benefit from our core expertise in-house. Gühring built the first machines of its own back in the 1920s. In the 1980s, this area became its own division, with our own mechanical engineering department, which provides uniform and networked machine fleets at all Gühring locations worldwide. In this way, we can guarantee consistent quality, regardless of the place of manufacture. As such, we can also ensure that the performance of a new tool is achieved during regrinding, but only at the edges. Last but not least, our preparation process lays the ideal foundation stone for tool finishing, coating.
Unfortunately, it wasn't that easy back then. Let's go back to the requirements of the market. You're already familiar with them. The market, you, your customers. Everyone wants the universal hassle-free package, everything from a single source. That's why we need a coating that is tailored to the cut and carbide and is therefore an all-rounder. We have chosen a coating system as the basis, which has been proving its strengths and flexibility on the market. Thanks to close cooperation between R&D and product management, we have adapted the processes for this coating system to the new tool, and in particular to the unique properties of carbide. For the XF, we have developed a cutting material that provided maximum toughness at a high hardness for a carbide. However, this toughness then placed huge demands on the coating, and in particular on the coating bonds. What did we do? We have adapted and tailored all of the processes in line with one another, achieving three things. 1. Better adhesion of the coating to the tool. 2. Significantly higher wear resistance. And 3. Better surface quality.
Carbide, macrogeometry, microgeometry, coating. To produce a tool like the RT100XF, all of these factors must be in sync with one another. The development of a next-generation tool is only possible if you involve all of the processes along the production line. Here, it is essential to be able to check all these steps. This is only possible if you, as a tool manufacturer, master every component, every process, and every machine. This holistic development approach is what sets us apart from our competitors. We combine all performance-determining factors under one roof, are able to control them, influence them in a targeted manner, and coordinate them with each other.
Overwhelming feedback from our customers underpins the outstanding performance of the RT100XF. Using a feed matrix as an example, we were able to reduce machining time by up to 50%. Modern high-performance tools thus offer the ideal conditions for making machining processes faster and, as a result, more productive. Machining parameters, in particular the feed rate, can therefore be increased many times over.
This results in removal rates that were previously unattainable.
We were also able to almost double the number of components to be machined and reduce cycle times by 25% in connecting rod machining.
Where you are dealing with typical C-steels and an inclined hole run-out.
With the RT100XF, we have developed a drilling tool that combines power, tool life, and quality.
A next-generation drilling tool.
Thank you, Mr. Beil. Thank you, Dr. Beer. Thank you very much for your insights into the development process. It's crazy to see what's possible nowadays. Solid carbide drilling was our third and final topic. And unfortunately, this means we have reached the end of the TECHLIGHT opening event. However, this is just the start of your journey of discovery. Click your way around the digital trade fair. It's now available 24/7, 365 days a year. You can make your way around 6 exciting themed areas. You can book webinars, watch expert videos, chat with experts, and if you have any problems or questions, simply send us a WhatsApp. We look forward to hearing from you. I would now like to thank you very much for watching and hope you enjoy exploring. All that's left to say is, TechLight 2020 is now open.